Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2.
Sliding into your screen is not just any coffee bag. It's a Roastar coffee bag. Don't need thousands. Personalized just 25 in Roastar's Design Lab. No design experience needed. Choose a pattern, add your logo and text, or create something memorable with AI. Being made in the Midwest, you can expect it on your doorstep in no time. Now that was smooth.
Super easy. People get really excited about it. Guessing the beans for whatever reason. Less on this trip because I'm not pushing it, but when I do like bigger events, I do it and I'll get hundreds of people guessing and they get really competitive.
Yeah.
They want to know all the rules. Is it Price is Right? Can I guess $1 more? You know, one bean more? Or like, how do I do it? And people will change their guesses based on what my example guess is. So I always mix it up, like make it super extreme, and then people panic, like, oh, I thought it would be something different. Why is this person guessing 42,000? You know, like it's like, no, just do your own thing. It's cool.
I know. I like the people who always they go like, what is the volume of this? What is the volume of a coffee bean?
Yeah.
And then they like do a whole algebra equation and then come up with like that's the person who probably wins.
I set these up at different coffee shops around San Diego at Christmas time. And we do a big giveaway, and then people just put their answers in a little jar. But one of the stops is at like where the shuttles pick up for all the tech businesses, like the tech hub.
Yeah.
And engineers and things. And so an Intuit tax company is there, so all their coders get dropped off at this one stop, at this little coffee shop they all go to. And
it must be intense.
they had the most guess, I think like 700 guesses last Christmas in like a 2-week period or whatever. But like they would literally be, like I had provided these little strips of paper, but there would be like full sheets in there with like equations and like graphs and like very intense like guesses, and they were all wrong.
Oh
like,
my
nobody
God.
got it.
They're so far off.
Yeah, you can guess the ratios all you want. You can measure the jar. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Nobody will ever figure it out. Although if I show it to like a green coffee buyer, they're like, oh, it's like this, and they'll be like,
yeah,
right there,
yeah,
because they know.
Yeah.
I counted them all.
What is it, like 700 or something like that?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Oh yeah, I have to put my guess down. I gotta look at it for it. I gotta get out my algebra book.
Make sure we're working here.
I feel like I'm pretty close.
Perfect.
I mean, it's about 2 pounds, maybe a little bit more than 2 pounds. You know.
I'll tell you next week when we announce a winner.
Okay.
So this is just like the show. I'm gonna do a little welcome, and then I got some questions I thought of for you.
Cool.
Chase is all
Awesome.
working on me. But it's very casual, and when it's done, I'll put it out on the internet.
Cool.
People will be excited about it.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm always happy to. Yeah, I don't know. You checked out? This is all the Milka story. It's kind of perfect that you came for the.
I walked around. Is this not up normally?
No. This is
cool.
just up for May and June. There was like a conference, a historic preservation conference that for like the state of California, and so my mom was in contact with those people. My sister-in-law is a historic preservation architect for the state. She works with the parks, the state parks service, and so they just kind of like were talking to those people, and they said, we're gonna put this up, and why don't you send people through? And so a bunch of people from the conference came through and like looked at the, like just learned about Milka and the history. And it doesn't have much about the building, but kind of more about Sacramento history. She's Croatian. And so it kind of has some stuff about like, Croatian history, and then like obviously cool cars and like crazy things people wore in like the 1930s.
I'm going to ask a little bit about this photo over here before I do.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, normally it'll just be you and I talking, but for this part, I look right at the camera
Cool.
and I say, hey everyone, welcome to the Coffee People podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Wolt. This show is presented by Roastar Coffee Packaging out of Wisconsin, my home state. You can find them online at roastar.com. Thanks to them for supporting the show. I'm here at Milka Coffee in Sacramento with our owner, Samir Benouar. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
I always get nervous about it for some reason. I think it's the extra OU in there.
Oh yeah, there's no 3 vowels in the English language, so.
We've chatted before, and this is my first time to get here into this historic building that we talked about on our last show.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for coming and showing up and hanging out here. It's super awesome to have something like this in our shop.
I like that we shake hands like we didn't just meet 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is all
Camera magic, baby.
the first time. I've got some notes that I took, but you were talking about, and I'll show some pictures of it, but
cool.
There are old black and white photos of your namesake on the wall and kind of the life of the 1920s and 30s in California. This one over here caught my eye because it's the Benevolent Slovenian Women's United Club or something along those lines. It's pretty close to it.
Yep.
But it's a group of maybe 50 women who used to meet, and that it made me think about how social clubs used to be so important. The what do you call it? The Masons, the Lions, all the different
Elks
men's
Club,
group, the
Elks
Elks
Lodge.
Club, Moose Lodges, women's groups.
Yep.
We don't really have that anymore for our younger generations. Those groups still exist.
We have chat rooms.
But
and online forums.
That's dark.
Sorry, did I go too far there?
No. But what it made me think of is this kind of like my coffee shop community is that.
Right.
Like it's loosely, my regular shop is loosely the same people. We go at the same time, kind of every day or every week. How does this historic coffee building, this coffee shop, not a historic coffee shop, relatively new in the grand scheme of things, but in a historic building, how does it fit a need in this community for a place for people to connect?
Well, I think, for one, just being on bar for the last like 30 minutes and hanging out, you see the regulars that, I used to work here every day. Obviously, I'm the owner, so that's to go without saying, but maybe for the last year, I haven't really worked on bar. I've been working at our other shop since we opened a second shop end of 2023, and I still see regulars that I know their order. Guy just came in, 8-ounce cup of coffee. He gets it every single morning. I knew exactly black, perfect. So it's kind of like, that's like the first level of community in a coffee shop is the relationship between barista and regular. And I think that is kind of a unique thing in society, which like we don't really know each other. We're not like hanging out all the time, but like there's like a familiarity and a comfort there. And like, being able to see your favorite barista every day is like, it just kind of, brightens you up. It makes you feel like, accepted and respected first thing in the morning. So I think that's like probably one of the most important things that coffee shops and baristas specifically offer to a community and to like the world at large, in kind of like a more atomized culture where people are hanging out in chat rooms and they're Snapchatting instead of like hanging out in person. And, you kind of still have that like very like tactile experience every morning with your barista and your regular. And then I think like the second level is just kind of like the fact that this is a space that people can come and they can work and they can have experiences in, and they can like, we do proposals here, not super often, but like we do a couple a year where
Like
people,
wedding proposals.
Yeah, like people
Oh, yeah.
proposing to their partner.
That's
to,
cool.
to, you know, and they bring in we'll set up, a lot of times it happens in this nook or happens on the front steps or maybe over in the patio or something, and they'll bring their photographer and they do a whole thing, and sometimes it's secret, sometimes both people know it. So that is kind of a unique thing, that community, that we offer a space for people to do like life-changing events, you know, or like we've had weddings here before, we've had bridal showers, baby showers, you know, you name it. We've done like big concerts. We have 300 people in here spilling out into the street to have like, you know, a house show. Like it's just, you know, like I think that's the beauty of the coffee shop in general, is just like you can go from that like very small granular moment of like barista and regular to like these big like events, life events, to these big community events, and it's just kind of like lives within the spectrum of like, you know, relationships and community.
I realize as we're talking that you're taller than I am.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just double check and make sure your whole head is in the camera. Give me 1
I'm just
second.
gonna have my forehead cut off. My hair, dude, it's like, I did it so well this morning, I can't have it be cut off.
I mean, a house show concert would be amazing. I was just reading about a band from my era of college. I can't remember the name, but who has basically given up big shows, and they started just doing like house parties again.
Oh, sick.
They're all in their like 40s now, and
Yeah.
they're doing college
Naturally.
shows. And the thing that I remember of the article is like the first one was like a couple hundred people, and then the next one was 1,000, and then they like 16,000 people showed up at someone's house last week, and they had to like go shut it down. And they're like, but I think there's this excitement and desire for something that feels natural and
Yeah.
less processed. Like I was thinking yesterday about content. Like this is what this is. And we're creating content, right?
Yep.
But I had a really great conversation over a coffee in Oakland yesterday. No camera, no notes, no anything. And I walked away going, oh, that was so nice.
Yeah.
Like to just meet someone organically and have this coffee conversation.
Yeah.
And so having places that we can do that is so valuable.
Yeah, totally. And I think that, you know, the nature of a coffee shop where seats are so close, or like bench seating specifically, like allows people to kind of like, oh, I need to plug my computer in, but the plug's under you, and then that's like a point of contact, and then maybe like 20 minutes later everything's set up, they turn over and like start chatting, you know, because it's just like people, once you break that first barrier of like conversation, you can actually like open up and have a conversation. And coffee shops kind of force people, unlike maybe restaurants where like, you know, you're sitting at your table and you have someone coming to serve you. Coffee shops offer that more fluid, it's kind of like a bar, right? And
Yeah.
like, you know, a lot of people who are under the age of 21 can't go to bars, you know, and so it's like we kind of have that vibe, but like more wholesome, I guess, and more for like everybody and the ages.
I think I'm nicer to people, to strangers, than I am to people I know when I'm in coffee shops.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like a preconceived notion of who they are yet.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I think I still assume that they will be a nice person.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
that being said, I was in LA this week buying coffee for people. I have a little sign up that says free coffee for nice people.
Yeah.
And at least 20 people said, oh, not for me, I'm not a nice person.
Oh my God, no way. That is crazy.
So I don't know if that was just an LA thing or what, but
I could be. LA is it's an
unique.
interesting place. They've got a different vibe there for sure.
You mentioned that you opened another store in 2023, end of 2023. Mm-hmm. You've also added your family since then.
Yep. Yeah.
How has a growing family and a growing business kind of changed your perspective for the future, and how do those intertwine?
Well, I think it's funny because like when you're expanding, you're like so focused on expansion and like not even if the numbers work, just getting it going, right? You're like, I need to like open a second shop because this is going to like, it's just gonna expand the business, which is totally true, and it has obviously. But when you have a kid, you kind of are like, I need to get more protective of myself and of my time and of my financial resources. And so it's like they're almost like two opposite emotions, right? One's like, I need to expand it at whatever cost.
Risk.
And one's, oh, so much risk. I'm gonna risk it all right now.
Yeah.
And then the other one's like, oh no, I need to like make sure that I can pay my mortgage, you know? So it's like, they're very conflicting feelings. But I think they're both kind of like necessary, like especially in my growth as a business person, because you want to have, like especially learning how to open the second shop and dealing with, you know, people not showing up, or like having to hire for 2 spaces that are different and have different needs and have different, just like bar setups. It's like they're just different, you know, so you have to train someone for both places. You start to kind of realize like, yeah, I think I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Well, I think
the noises in the background, I start to hear them like, is that
we're in a real working coffee shop. This isn't a set. We're not, This isn't professional.
But yeah, I think that kind of taught me, like you do have to like find that balance between risk and protectionism of your like business. And I think those 2 things actually happening at the same time, having a kid and opening a second shop, have kind of like shaped me a little bit more as a business person than I could have thought, because now I'm like, okay, my time is important, so where are we going to spend it and how are we going to spend it, and this needs to get done, like something needs to happen for the business, but I also have to like take care of this kid. So I've kind of been way more like what is the word? I've been more, oh my God, how am I forgetting the word? Basically,
I wanted to say efficient, but I don't know if that's what you're looking
efficient.
for.
I was thinking of a different word.
Some sort
Yeah,
of.
exactly. I have to be way more efficient. I have to like pick and choose my moments and say like, I'm gonna do this, but then I'm not gonna do that, which is super hard when you're like in a growth phase to say, I can't do that, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just kind of like been a little bit at times like gut wrenching, having to like make decisions between my business and my personal life. But I think it's taught me kind of like, oh, we can do this and you can kind of keep going and still have your personal life. When previous to the kid, I was like, we're basically just 100% on this business and I don't really have a personal life.
Part of that is finding good people. Shout out to Mary, who's helped me out this morning, and Hannah, I think.
Hannah, yeah.
Hannah, behind the bar, who's been running it by herself all morning. We are in a weird kind of climate economically. Off air, we were chatting about this is kind of the moment where if you've just been like making money accidentally, that's going to go away. Mm-hmm. And with the expansion, how have you managed continuing down a road of progress and success? Or is there a little bit of like, when you're talking about risk versus like pulling in tighter, is there this feeling like, oh no, we need to be cautious now, or is now the time to leap?
Oh man, that's a good question, because I think like in business it's always both, because like
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if a really good opportunity presents itself, you're gonna go and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? Like you have to, because you know, I mean, I don't really believe, especially in this economic climate, that like grow or die is a thing. Like sometimes you don't need to grow. Sometimes you need to just sit still and like work on what you have, because like your most valuable asset is always going to be the thing that's bringing you money today, not something that's like theoretical in the future. But I do think like, you know, if you have that opportunity to grow, even in this climate, you should take it. And I think like we're going to, the other shop is interesting. We kind of like are in this limbo place where it's not growing like we wanted to. And I think part of that is the economic climate. So that's kind of taught me a ton about like just sitting where you are and kind of just working on what you have and trying to build that. And I think that's kind of where you have to be in this moment economically. But I do think if we did get like a good opportunity, we would take it still.
We're almost in the shadow of the Capitol building sitting here. You mentioned that like if the Capitol is like doing something, like you're feeling it here in the shop, if like the staffers aren't, you're feeling it in the shop. is this moment, do you feel the energy of the what's going on over there, or is this more of a refuge, you think, for the neighborhood?
I mean, I think it's the other shop is more what expressive of what happens because it's closer to the capital. So I think that question is interesting because we got both in my brain. I have both shops to think about. I'm like, that other shop, you really truly feel it. Like if people don't show up to work, it's dead. Here, I think you're right. You know, the latter may be true. We're a little bit nooked into this neighborhood. We have like 2 apartment buildings, a 3rd apartment building going in right here, apartments everywhere. So we're a little more insulated from that. But like if an event specifically is going on there, or like something's going on in Sacramento, yeah, you definitely will feel that. But from the capital, this location, not as much, but definitely. Yeah. I mean, today, I don't know what's happening. Normally we have 3 people cranking. Yeah.
My favorite is when I heard you or somebody say that they wanted a black coffee, and you're like, oh, there's someone over there giving away, or that got free coffee. They're like, no, like
I'll pay for it.
Yeah, and I kind of think that's nice because 1, I'm not spending that money, but 2, they are here because they want to support your shop.
Right.
Like that's why they came here. It's not just about getting a free thing.
Yeah.
I was just reading about coffee in Sacramento. I know it's a big coffee town. There's a business opening, or has opened, called Bot Bar with robot baristas.
Oh.
I'm wondering.
Here in Sacramento?
In Sacramento.
No way.
I'm wondering if you think that robots are coming for your jobs.
No. I mean, I think automation in coffee is important. I think with the amount of people who are like, even we see our applications they're not what they used to be. Just from, and I know this is going to be kind of like a touchy subject, but even from like the quality of applicants to like with previous training, or like even having worked like bussing tables or something, there's just a lot less people applying who have, you know, availability, who have like, you know, just all the hallmark things that you need in a barista. So I think automation is important for the future of coffee. With less baristas, there's less people who are going into the career of barista. And if it's even possible to really have a real career as a barista anymore, with like, you know, pay scale and how expensive it is to live in all of these cities, like it's just a hard business to be in from an employee and from a business owner. So I think automation, if we're talking about it from like espresso machines talking to grinders, to super automatic machines, to like batch brewers that have grinders in the top where you can press a button and the brew is there, and all you have to do is put a carafe in so people can just bunk back there, and you can do what we do with 3 baristas, with 2 baristas. Like I think that is a good thing. That's automation that we need. But do I think that a robotic arm is ever going to replace that conversation that you have with your, you know, favorite barista in the morning every day? I just think it's like that's pretty impossible to replicate with a robot. I don't think, you know, I don't think people are going to get the same feeling like having a robot chat with them every day. I mean, maybe, I don't know, the movie Her.
I was just thinking like of that. And I was thinking that I got a couple of spam calls yesterday, but I was in the car, so I couldn't see, and I just answered. But I wasn't sure if I was talking to a person or not. Yeah. Because it was pretty
so
real,
good.
But I assume it was a person. But then in retrospect, I was like, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing that scares me a little bit. I agree with you. I think that there's a very specific person I think about who I know lives alone and is a bit of a loner on purpose, but also is just lonely.
Right.
And when I was in hospitality, that was the person I would try to think about, especially early in the morning or when things are slow and maybe I'm not as energized, that person coming in to get their coffee or their beer or their whatever, this could be their only human interaction today.
Yeah, totally.
And how valuable is it to them? And it's easy to forget that. I think, you know, you as a business owner, every now and again, I would imagine you get a comment on your reviews or you get an email or whatever thanking you for being here.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that's the business we're in, is connecting.
Yeah.
The coffee should be good.
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of places that have bad coffee that do great because of the connection.
Yeah.
And so that to me is like number one, and then number two is quality, but usually they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
For me, selfishly.
No, totally. I think that's like spot on, and I think it would be good if we as an industry did a better job of telling people that, you know? Like I feel like people, I don't know, like there's a lot of people who need that interaction but maybe have never felt that because they go to Starbucks, you know? And they don't come to a third wave specialty shop, or don't go to like a cocktail bar where they can get more, you know, one-on-one time with their baristas. They just go to these like drink mills that like pump out stuff. So I think that like if we could distill that and like use that as our marketing ploy, instead of like, we have the best coffee, we have 95-point coffee, you know, that's great, whatever. Like I'm a coffee nerd, I eat that shit up. But in reality, I don't think that's gonna connect with the broader public. But I think that what you just said, it would connect 100% with people. And I only say that because I think we do like have, at this point in the grand scheme of the economic grand scheme of things, like we need that kind of like, where are we differentiated from Dunkin' and from Starbucks and from Dutch Bros, where, you know, the extra dollar price tag is that communication and that ability to like talk to someone and make their day, you know, and people just don't know about that. And I think it's such a special thing.
Yeah, I would point out that when I tried to tip today, she told me it was included in your pricing.
Yeah.
That makes me so uncomfortable. That's like as a person who grew up in the hospitality tipping.
I know.
But it also made me think, oh, their prices are too low.
Yeah.
I don't say that very often, but like I felt that this morning. I was like, they should be charging like another $1 or $2 for what I'm buying.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time and letting me hang out and you know, do this thing here today. You brought me this sample. I was hoping to just ask you about it on camera real quick.
Cool.
Because I've already asked you what you drink in the past. You should watch that old interview that we did.
Yeah. Lots of Sacramento.
Yeah, lots of Sacramento.
Like
that one.
Going to that was like I'm running for Chamber of Commerce president. Like just send them to that podcast.
It's perfect. I'm really enjoying this. I'm not a huge cold coffee person, but the flavor in this is great. Can you tell me what I'm drinking?
So you're drinking an orange mocha, and it's kind of loosely based off of the orange, like Terry's orange chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're like, mostly during Christmas time. My grandmother, Nona, the daughter of Milka, my Nona, Georgina, she used to give them to us, me and my brother, every Christmas, a milk chocolate Terry's orange. So I was like, I love this, you know, and every year since I've gotten them, and I buy them myself now. My mom still gives them to me. And I was like, how do we turn this into a drink? And it's an orange mocha, right?
Yeah.
So we tested it, tasted, found like the perfect ratio. We make all of our syrups in-house, so everything is, we don't buy syrups from anyone except for our maple syrup, because as my dad joked, we don't have a maple tree out back that we can just tap. We got to buy that one. We got to import it, but this is a 100% Nicaraguan single origin chocolate from our friends at Crew Chocolate, and they're up in Rockland, which is about 30 minutes east of here. And it is mixed with Demerara sugar, and then we have a orange simple syrup, and our single origin. Right now we have an Ethiopian Dumerso on espresso. So you put it all together and you get something that's pretty decadent.
It's going to help me through these nightmare memories I'm having of collecting maple syrup at 5 a.m. before school when I was a kid.
Oh my God, you did that?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I think that was maple syrup. I think my dad didn't know what a maple tree was, and he was just tapping whatever tree he could find.
He's like, it's got
he was
some
just really
sweet
excited
liquid
about
coming
it. And I'd have to get up and walk around and like check the little, essentially garbage bags hanging from the trees. Yeah,
that is so funny.
when I was 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, that's our signature. That's like our first sweet drink. We started thinking we're gonna have just a maple latte. Our only sweet, and within a month we were like vanilla.
Yeah.
And then we started creating stuff like the Apple Hill, which is like a spiced apple kind of. It doesn't really taste like apple in the simple syrup, but it's like a spiced coffee, and it's like the best thing in the winter. So it's evolved.
I'll work my way through. I got to drive back through Sacramento in a few weeks, so we'll stop in and get another one.
Yeah, please do.
Samir, thank you for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, no problem.
That's our show. You can head to roastwestcoast.com for more coffee context stuff. We'll link to all of Milka Coffee Roaster stuff. Until next time, thank you for drinking good coffee. And I would say tip your baristas, but in this case, like, just buy the coffee and it's all taken care of.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So that's it, man.
Cool.
Hopefully that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I meander, so I'm sure you're gonna have to do some cutting and move some things around.
Let me see. Oh, it's like so close. There we go. Oh, there. Perfect. I was oh no, I set it up for me, but I realized he's got a couple inches on me here.
Oh, it's all good.
We're perfect.
That's all right.